What's up, everybody? House of Agendas is back with episode number 12. Kenzie, how are you doing on this Friday afternoon?
I'm doing good. Just normal Friday, just chilling.
All right, so this week we've tried some couple different things with our content. I've been doing the money lines for college and NBA every day. Last night had a big winner, over $200. And then this week we also started Kenzie's Corner. How did you think the first iteration of Kenzie's Corner went?
It went good, man. I was just on there spitting some factual takes, not getting a lot of opinions in there. It's regular, regular.
I mean, and to be honest, I think that was like one of our more successful posts on social media. I mean, it got a lot of good interactions and it got a good amount of views and things. So obviously, that's something we're going to go with going forward. Once a week, we'll get you on Kenzie's Corner. But hey, we're trying new things. House of Agendas is expanding our content a little bit, and we're just trying to get more views, likes, shares, whatever you want to call it. Kenzie, we have had a couple days to, decompress from the divisional round of the playoffs. How would you rate the divisional round? You can give it a letter grade or a number grade out of 10. What are your thoughts on the two divisional round games?
I think the AFC game hard carried it. It's never good when a divisional game you don't care to watch the second half.
Yeah.
That's kind of how like the Eagles 49ers was. Like I maybe watched like 2 series of the third quarter. Then it just became like background noise. Like I was just doing other things. I wasn't really sitting down watching like I was, especially for the whole first half.
Right. As a whole, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Both games combined. As soon as Brock Purdy left in the 49ers-Eagles game, it was over.
Yeah.
Josh Johnson's a fourth-string quarterback for a reason. And it just was a lot for the 49ers to overcome. Like, you lose 3 starting quality quarterbacks in a season. It's kind of crazy that you made the divisional round. And then Bengals and Chiefs, it was a good game. I mean, it was a good game, but I'm not going to harp on it any more than I already have. When everybody says something's happening, it's probably happening to an extent. The officiating was questionable. The Bengals didn't make enough plays either, but It didn't help that certain things it just felt like it happened at the right time. Chiefs won. Mahomes, had a hell of a scramble to set up the game-winning field goal. Can't take that away from him playing on a bad ankle. He still had a very good game. Kelsey played with a bad back. Props to those guys. It just felt like timely penalties, Brady-esque penalties. We'll touch on him later.
Yeah, the Tom magic
happened for the Chiefs in that game. That takes us into something you brought up recently. Bengals and Bills. Was this season a blown opportunity for those guys, or do they still have a reason to be optimistic? I'm probably going to have a 50-50 answer on that one, but I would like to hear what your thoughts are on those two franchises going forward.
All right. Well, for both of them, it's a blown opportunity, yes, but I wouldn't say like they're completely in the mud because they still have like 2 MVP level quarterbacks. But in terms of like quality of roster, like as we can see, like then a few minutes ago, like something happened with the Bengals. Who was it, Higgins or something? Like he might be traded.
He's asking for a lot of
money.
Yeah.
So as you can see, like from year to year, rosters in the NFL shake up a lot. So this was like their time to take advantage of like Burrow's rookie contract, and eventually, like more receivers, more of their underrated defense players are going to want to get paid. And on the Buffalo side, Von's not going to be back to like November, hopefully.
Yeah.
And then you have Poyer, a bunch of other people. They still had the running back issues. So yeah, I think with all of that, you have a quarterback, so you're not in a bad spot, but definitely a blown opportunity.
Yeah, so for the Bengals, because Burrow's still on the rookie contract, because they still have a little bit of flexibility, the T. Higgins situation is interesting because he is such a talented guy. But they still have some room to wiggle. I'm more optimistic for the Bengals going forward than I am the Bills. The Bills guys are, older guys. They're not as young. Von Miller, here's the thing: you can't have a damn near 40-year-old guy being your number one pass rusher.
Yeah.
And when he left, their pass rush was non-existent, and it's hard to win in the NFL in the playoffs when you can't get to the quarterback. So we saw that. I think the Bengals did blow an opportunity to make another Super Bowl, but I don't think the door's closed on
Right.
them. I'm very optimistic going forward because I think guys are going to want to play with Joe Burrow. I think they like him. They like the way he handles himself. And Josh Allen's got to he's got to prove that he can improve in the turnover department. If he cut his turnovers by 3, he would be, like a couple key situation turnovers, he would be a completely different player.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're not even asking for you to change the world. Like 12 interceptions instead of 15 would be much different for them.
Yeah. And something else that might hurt the Bengals is the fact that if Lamar stays, they're a threat. If Deshaun rounds back into form, y'all a threat. The Steelers somehow won 8 games after starting 2-7, so they're technically a threat. That's no guarantee they win the division.
And you also got to think the last 2 seasons, the Bengals have gotten hot at the right time. Just perfect timing. Would they win 10 games in a row?
Mm-hmm.
And then in the last 13, they were 12-1 or something crazy. They lost to us, and then I don't know. They their defense just rounds into shape at the right time. I don't know if that's going to work every season.
Right.
But I think Burrow's good enough to keep them Lamar, but I think the Ravens need to take another step too. You can't just keep throwing Lamar out there with guys. They need to be guys who have some name quality, some ability quality. Those guys are solid. They're fast, but they're not. I don't know. I think they're just missing a little something on offense still. Obviously, Lamar's fantastic, but
they need some
add something
besides Andrews and Lamar. They need an offensive threat.
Give him a number 1. Let's give the guy a number 1 and pay him his money. He's earned it. He's gotten hurt for this franchise.
Yeah, because when it's mid-season and you're pulling the Deshaun Jackson card,
and obviously the Steelers, they just seem to make shit work no matter what. And we're gonna have Deshaun Watson for a full season. We'll see how the offseason goes. But the AFC North is always going to be a challenge. So I would say the Bengals do have a slightly harder, obviously, road.
Going into the year, they're going to be the favorites. But if you tell me mid-December, either you or the Ravens are tied for first, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Okay, let's head into New York. You guys are in a situation where you need a quarterback. I think it's been recognized by everybody now. There's some quarterback names out there. I'm going to name 4 guys for you. I want you to tell me the fit and what you think the chances of them joining the Jets are.
All right.
I'm going to start low and I'm going to go end high, in my opinion. Jacoby Brissett.
I think.
How does he fit? And then do you think he's likely to join the team?
I don't think it's likely because this is I mean, I saw some news about it this week, but I think if it comes down to that, he's not bad. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. If it comes down to that, I think we failed in the offseason.
Okay.
Obviously he's better than White and Wilson, but if that's what we're working with, I think we failed the offseason.
Okay, so Brissett doesn't take you over the hump in your opinion.
I think if we had him the whole year, we're in the playoffs, but that's about it.
All right, and then so what about Jimmy Garoppolo?
Same, except he's injury prone, and to be honest, I'd probably rather Brissett.
Okay. Now we're gonna get into the guys that I think actually could probably make a difference. Carr.
I wouldn't say we'd be the favorite because he's no Mahomes, Burrow, or Allen, but if he can go to how he played the year before this season, when he was top 5 in passing yards, and if our defense doesn't fall off, then if we end up in the championship weekend, I will be a bit shocked but not surprised.
Okay, and then this one kind of seems like, you're throwing all your eggs in one basket here, and you're going for it all. Aaron Rodgers.
After the Hackett hiring, I think this is the most likely. And if we get Rodgers, hoping that this year was just like an aberration. I think we can make it.
Yeah, I mean, what I would like to see is your young receivers with Aaron Rodgers and see how that works.
Because like when Flacco or White was in, Wilson was averaging like 90 plus yards.
Yeah.
But when Zach Wilson was the quarterback, he's averaging like 40 maybe. So like if we just get Garrett Wilson the ball, and Rodgers will do that, especially like if he favors him.
So all right, if we're gonna rank them, you want Rodgers at 1, Carr at 2, Brissett at 3, Jimmy at 4.
Yeah.
Is that how?
Honestly, I'd rather Mike White over Jimmy, but yeah.
Okay, I mean, if you don't want to win, that's your own problem. You know,
that's my
Jimmy's a winner.
Hall of Famer.
All right, last topic for the NFL. This is a guy that you've been an operative of for a long time. A rivalry that he doesn't even know exists. You know what? If Tom Brady retires, I think this is the last time. Just touch on Tom Brady a little bit. I know it's caused you a lot of pain over the years, but you know, he's an all-time great. So give us a little bit about Tom Brady.
You know, I'll never say he's bad. It's just stuff just seems to work. Even this year, it's like he just has some black magic that just works. Like whether it be the Falcons, if they just ran 0-1 trap in inside zones for the whole second half, they 90% chance they win the game. It just the stuff just works for him. Granted, like he's clutch. I'll give him that. Like even like when I'm rooting against him or like when he's playing my team, if that game was close to like 3 minutes left, I'm like, oh God, he's going to find a way. But honestly, it's going to be weird seeing him gone because he's been my op since I understood what football was.
Right.
Yeah, so him, damn man, I can't believe he's gone.
Yeah, it's interesting because like, you know, however you want to shake it, more than likely he's the best quarterback of however long we've been watching football.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's got all the accolades, he's got the records, he's 7 Super Bowls, 10 appearances. It's going to be weird not having one of your all-time guys out there anymore. You know, it seems like now that he's gone, we've closed the era on Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, some of those other guys who, champions. So Tom Brady, I have him as the GOAT. I think his resume is going to be very hard to ever pass. The one guy who could do it is Mahomes, and he's got a lot of winning to do going forward.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
But hell of a career. Even in his last year, somehow he found a way to get in the playoffs, threw for a shit ton of yards. So just, it's probably the right time for him to go. I don't think the Bucs are going anywhere, and him going to another team probably just.
Yeah, like if he just like jumped to like the Raiders or Niners, like, he could still play, but it's not it just wouldn't feel right.
Yeah. So, all right. That's enough for the NFL. We're not going to do our Super Bowl picks. We're going to wait till next week because obviously the long layover. We want to be on top of that when we do our picks and talk about everything Super Bowl related. All right, that takes us into another high profile player, a guy that's probably in the same conversation as Tom Brady. LeBron is 63 points away from the NBA scoring record. I want to pose this question to you. Would you like to see LeBron try and get 64 in a game against the Pelicans on Saturday, or he goes for 30 and tries to break it at home against the Thunder? I was just wondering if you wanted to see maybe like, hey, this is one of LeBron's like, hey, this is the time he went for 64 and broke the all-time scoring record, or would you rather see it in LA, kind of get the reception from that home crowd for him?
I was going to take it a bit elsewhere, and I just thought of this like probably like a few hours ago, because Jordan is coming out with like his 2-3-2-3-2-3 thingy.
Yeah,
I think LeBron should be very petty, and however many points it takes for him to get to him needing 23 going into the game, he should score. So then when he goes into the next game, they'd be like, oh yeah, he needs 23 to break the record.
Oh, okay.
Just to be petty. Maximum pettiness. Yeah, so that's what I'm hoping for. But obviously, like if he goes for 64, I'll be super duper hyped. But it was just like the optics of that. Like LeBron's like, oh yeah, after I came back from 3-1, you okay documentary. Now that I'm about to break the all-time record, you're okaying something else. Watch this. Okay. That would be amazing, but I don't think he's gonna do that.
That would be like
that's something I can see Kobe doing.
The statistician on the bench is like keeping meticulous numbers just to try to keep up. Like, LeBron, you've got 35. You need 6 more, like to have 23 left. Like, that would be super petty. I would like to see LeBron come out against the Pelicans and just go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Just from the start, do his little sidestep 3 and say, I'm going for it. It's not at home, but it's still a national TV game. And before going for a record, that's something people would remember for a long time. More than likely, it will be against the Thunder in LA early next week. But I just think it'd be so cool for him to try to get 64 in a game at his age and everything. So we're chasing history, everybody. Pretty exciting stuff. Doesn't feel like they're as all in on this as I would think they are.
Yeah, like
it feels odd to me.
Yeah, like the build up to Steph breaking the record was more hype than this.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like even with that, they were ODing. Like, I think going into the Indiana game, he needed like 16. It was like, oh, can Steph hit 16 threes tonight? I'm like, yo, relax.
16. That's just an absurd number.
Yeah, like relax.
And then another thing, like, is it because does this get into the point where like maybe we just take the guy for granted?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, because even here's the next thing I was gonna make. Should him being top 5 in assists all time be a bigger deal? Like behind Stockton, Kidd, and CP3.
Yeah, like I didn't even know that until like they said it. Like, nobody ever said, oh, he's now top 5, he's now top 10. Like, I had no idea LeBron was that high on the assist record, and honestly, that's just insane. So for him to like be able to about to be number 1 in scoring, and he's also top 5 in assists. You can say longevity all you want. That is absolutely insane.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that we'll never, like, more than likely we'll never see again.
Yeah. And
it's just like we've just been spoiled for 20 years now. Like, we really have been. Like, I'm sure the people that watched MJ for all those years felt like they were spoiled for so long, but we've been spoiled like the same exact way.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into this. Okay, so we're jumping into the NBA standings, Kenzie. What in the NBA standings sticks out to you? Which team is overachieving? Which team's underachieving? Let's start off in the East. Is there anybody in the East that really catches your eye?
The East, I would say the Pacers are catching my eye just because, like, I didn't expect them to be this high. Mm-hmm. Like, coming into like the season, like, you know how FanDuel had that, like, predict like the over under for wins. Right. I think I had the Pacers like under 22, and I lost that before like not halftime break, the All-Star break. So for them to be that high, that's catching me off guard. Besides that, everything else is kind of what expected. The Celtics, Bucks, Philly, Nets, Cavs, the Heat, they're just always there. Eric Spoelstra, Magic.
Right.
I
got one for me. I thought Toronto would be so much better.
Oh yeah,
they are 23-30 right now. They're like prepping at the trade deadline here to move a bunch of pieces.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened there. Maybe they just don't like playing together? But those guys, I expected a lot more out of. Scotty Barnes was very hyped. He's been okay this year to solid, but like something's missing in Toronto. So they look like they're going to be selling at the deadline, but that team really surprised me. I thought they would be contending with like the Heat and the Cavs in that range.
Yeah, with them, it's Nick Nurse is a great coach, but I guess I wouldn't say he lost a locker room. I still think he's like a top 5, top 6 coach. It's just not working.
Right. It's very confusing because they have very talented players. I mean, like you could see like what people are trying to trade for some of these guys. OG Anunoby's like they're trying to get like 3 firsts from him.
Yeah, I don't know what
that's insane.
I don't know what.
I mean, Siakam is on the block. It sounds like Gary Trent could be on that way out. Fred VanVleet. That's like a starting lineup right there.
Siakam, people forgot he was like 2 years ago or last year he was just all NBA. So I'm surprised that's not getting more traction. All NBA play on the market.
Yeah, I don't know. The media's felt weird this year. I don't know. All right, let's go out west. Team that surprises me, the Kings. The Kings
Yeah.
surprised me, man. They're the third seed in the West right now. They're 6 games out of first. They're only 2 behind the Grizzlies now. I thought they would make the play-in, or maybe the eighth. The play-in is the 8th seed, so I thought they'd make the play-in. But this is I've been very impressed with them. 29-21. Sabonis and Fox are playing their asses off. They've got a good team. Mike Brown's kind of proven himself this year. A lot of people doubted him after some issues in Cleveland and then LA, but I think he's doing a hell of a job out there.
I would I don't necessarily have a team besides since you already talked about the Kings, but I don't have a specific team that surprised me. I would say the standings, from what is it, 4 to 12, a 2-game winning streak. You go from 12th seed to 5th seed. That's a bit crazy. The Pelicans were just third. Granted, they lost 10 in a row, but to go from third to 13th, from third to 10th, that's crazy.
Yeah, so like you just said, fourth from 13 is separated by 3 games in the West right now.
Yeah, that's crazy. You have a good week and you're going from number 6 pick to hosting a playoff game. What?
Yeah, the West is very interesting to watch just because of the level of you could change so fast. Looking at the West, is there any playoff matchups that you see right now? We'll just go with the standings as they are right now. Is there any playoff matchups that really intrigue you out west right now?
Mavs Clippers, just because that's the third time of it happening, so I think that would be really good.
Yeah, I would like to see Luka versus those guys one more time.
And Suns Grizzlies, that could, even though there's no storyline between them, you could both say Ja and Booker, they're kind of become not the faces of the league, but if you're ranking top quote unquote young talent, they're up there. So that could be who's fighting to be a top 10 player. So that would intrigue me. And playing matchups, Warriors Pelicans would be that'll be expected.
Both of those teams fully healthy and ready to go, I think, would be very electric.
I would love to see Jose try to get into stuff how he got into Chris Paul. Yeah, that would be amazing to watch.
And then Draymond trying to deal with Zion's size,
Jonas would destroy them on the glass.
Yeah, Looney and Jonas, seeing how if Looney could even hold him off the block.
Yeah, because Jonas in the first round last year, he was going toe with Ayton, outplaying him sometimes. So yeah, I think he destroyed Looney.
For me, for the West, I want to see if Denver can make a run. Yeah. I want to see if they can get to the Western Conference Championship or Western Conference Finals, and maybe even the NBA Finals. They always seem like they're a very strong regular season team. I don't know if Jokic just wears himself out or what, but this seems like a good year for them to make their run. So not necessarily have a matchup in mind for them, but I do think they need to avoid the Warriors.
Yeah,
they just play Jokic into a situation where he's not as effective. And like you said, Luka versus the Clippers again would be fun. Let's go to the East. The East, I think, is more interesting in general because I think they're better teams. I think right off the bat, I think Brooklyn versus Cleveland would be a very fun first series.
Yeah, that would be amazing. There's going to be, I think every game that series, somebody's going for 40 or 50.
Yeah, the scoring, Kyrie and Garland going back and forth could trade buckets, trade threes. Mitchell can trade with Kevin Durant to an extent.
Right.
Mobley and Jared Allen versus, why am I drawing a blank on his name right now?
Claxton.
Versus Nick Claxton, the length and the shot blocking between those 3 guys. The Nets shooting on their bench. Can Joe Harris be consistent? There's a lot of things in that 4 versus 5 matchup that would really be interesting. For me personally, as a Cavs fan, I would like to see those seeds switched so we got the first 2 in Cleveland.
Right.
I think that would really help the potential of winning that series. But that 4 versus 5 game right there really piques my interest.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's a better matchup for y'all than if Philly would have fallen down, just because like I can see Embiid getting Allen in foul trouble. I think y'all match up good with the Nets.
And that would be an issue is the playoff officiating against Embiid and Harden in the first round would be just terrible. And then, I mean, potentially, Boston versus the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Right.
I mean, watching those guys play is it's just good basketball.
Yeah, Tatum's taking a leap. Like when he came into the league, like he was just like a great wing scorer, but now he's like, I didn't even notice he's averaging like damn near 10 rebounds a game.
Oh yeah, he's putting it all together. And the best part about them is he's got such a security blanket with Jaylen Brown that
I had no idea that Brown was averaging upwards of 27 points.
Oh my, it's insane. Like they're just Tatum could have just an off night and it wouldn't matter. It doesn't matter because Jaylen Brown's could get you 30 and he almost does every night anyway.
You think that's the best duo in the league?
It's got to be. 30. I mean, what? Tatum's 30 and Jaylen Brown's 26 and a half, if not more. Scoring wise, for sure, they're the best. I think Durant and Kyrie are close. Durant not playing as much probably doesn't help that. Embiid and Harden is a hell of a duo, but the scoring is not the same because Harden doesn't shoot as much. I mean, he's still averaging 21, but I mean, and Trae Young's definitely not on there, so I just wanted to slide that in there. Let's see. Okay, all-star starters. Let's run through it real quick. East, Kyrie, Mitchell, Tatum, Durant, Giannis, and then West was Steph, Luka, LeBron, Zion, Jokic. Do you think anybody in the East, was there anybody left off that you thought should have made it, or would you switch anybody out? What do you think about the East starters?
I definitely want Embiid on there, but
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It's just like I don't. KD, I guess I'm taking.
Okay, so what I thought of when I saw it was like the only reason I would take KD off is because the game's missed, and then you're getting into semantics like minutes played, yada yada.
Like Embiid has to be on it. He's one player of the month, and his season's only been like alive for 3 months. How do you? I
mean, and he's second in the MVP right now. He's averaging over 30.
Ain't he leading in scoring again?
I think he's. I don't think he's beaten Luka yet, is he?
Oh.
I think he's second. I haven't. I would have to double check. That would be the only spot I would switch. I would switch Durant for Embiid and move Giannis to the 4, but it's really close. Really.
I think this week's put him above. Embiid's at 33.6. Luka's 33.4.
Oh, okay. So we're literally, that's okay. So so I think we're kind of in agreement there. Embiid should probably be the starter, and if you did, you'd have to take out Durant. Which is not a slight to Durant. It's just they're that good, and it's that close.
Right.
Out West, did anybody catch your eye on Out West that you would switch out? I have one, and it's been one that I've been harping on for a while. I can tell you why.
I think Zion, just because the game's missed. I think what he played, like 25, 26?
He's at 29 games played.
Yeah, so I think just because like certain guys, like you could argue should be in it.
Yeah.
That's why I would take Zion out.
Okay, so we're on the same boat. I would have replaced Zion with Sabonis. Sabonis has played 48 games. They're third in the East. Zion played 29 games. I know they were much better when he was playing. I totally understand that. That's why I got down to like win shares right now. Sabonis has got 7.7 win shares. Zion's got 3.6 win shares. Sabonis is 19, 12, and 7. Zion's 26, 7, and 5. Sabonis is slightly more efficient. The team's winning.
Right.
I know that doesn't have anything to do with Zion because he's injured. It's just very close. I don't think it would have been bad if you would have had Sabonis starting and Zion being a reserve. That's all.
Yeah.
Here's something we're going to do this week. Just because Dame's been killing it lately. He's been just going nuclear, and you had your great segment on Kenzie's Corner. We're going to go Dame versus. I'm going to make you pick between Dame and one other person.
All right. They sleep. Dame being underrated, it really used to be a meme, but it's factuals now. It's factuals.
Okay, so Dame versus. I want to hear you say it. Dame versus Curry.
Like as a player or like it's 3-point shooting?
We're going to start off with Dame versus Curry. You decide what you want it to be. Because I want to see if you finagle your way around this.
I got Curry. He's better as a player. His gravity. I know people meme that, but his gravity is a real thing. And he's just better shooter than Dame, slightly better playmaker. His finishing is underrated because like Curry doesn't like always do like the Kyrie jellies, but Curry's also like a very great finisher. So yeah, I'll take Curry.
Okay. This one will be strictly shooting. Dame versus Ray Allen.
Dame. I know. Coming off a floppy screen or running a hammer play to the corner, Ray Allen probably shoot a higher clip than Dame at that. But if I'm down 3, 8 seconds left, we need a bucket. There's no way I'm not going to the tween step back. I'm sorry, that's Dame.
Okay. I'll let you have that just because Dame's shot making difficulty is very high. And that's what you're trying to make the point about. Dame versus Larry Bird. Now, don't make this choice based off of anything other than Larry Bird being the best.
Dame, man. Dame. I know you can argue like the whole volume shooter thing and like this is hypotheticals, but Larry Bird's not doing what Dame did to the Nuggets. He's not coming off screen, shooting over Jokic from 30 feet. He's not scoring on the phenomenal perimeter defense the Nuggets had with Austin Rivers and Aaron Gordon. I don't see it happening. Like in last week he just had like
You're the only person I've ever heard call the Nuggets defense phenomenal.
Austin Rivers could play D. He could play D. So it's just
not at a phenomenal level, but that's fine.
It's just this. I've seen too many Dame performances from 3 that I'm just like, even in the bubble, they were like, "Yo, Steph, I don't think you could do that." So I have to take Dame.
All right, we know you're going to take Dame. I just want to slide that in there. All right, take us to the Would You Rather this week to close us out.
This one, both will probably end in you in the hospital. But the Would You Rather is: would you rather spend a minute in the octagon with an enraged, angry gorilla? You don't have to win. You don't have to like make him tap out or nothing. You just have to survive a minute in the ring with survive a minute in the octagon with a gorilla, or spend a day in the wilderness with Australia. I'm talking the giant flies, the scorpions, the kangaroos. I don't know what else they got out there, but it's probably crazy because it's Australia. So yeah, would you rather spend a minute versus a gorilla, or spend a day in the wilderness of Australia?
Okay, this is tough because there's not really any benefits of either. So I'm going to spend a day in Australia because I believe while Australia is very dangerous and has a lot of craziness, I also believe that Australia is probably a beautiful place, like surrounded by water, deserts. I mean, the animals, yes, are dangerous, but they're probably insane to look at, and see. So I'm going to pick, rather than getting my body torn in half by a gorilla, an enraged gorilla, mind you, I'm gonna go to Australia and at least enjoy some of the scenery and try to enjoy my day with, I'll probably end up getting bit by a snake or something.
Oh yeah.
But damn, that's a tough way to go though. But it would be awesome to see Australia. So I'm gonna go with that one.
I just can't pick Australia. Like the mosquitoes, the giant flies, the probably 30 poisonous animals.
Yeah.
It's with the gorilla, it's like what Vegeta told Goku versus Kid Buu. If I can't survive a minute, I'm not that guy. It's not like I'm trapped in a phone booth with a gorilla. We're not octagon.
They just move so much faster than you do. It's insane.
I am a tactical individual.
But you don't really have that far to run. I don't think the octagon's not that big.
Yeah, but gorillas don't really have a fighting style. They just swing randomly. So I'll just bob and weave. It can't be that hard. It can't be that hard. People have fallen.
You're getting clubbed by a massive arm, and you're gonna bob and weave.
People have fallen into gorilla pits before, and not all of them have died. I'll be okay.
Okay, well, I'll enjoy the view while getting bit by something while your limbs are being thrown over the side of the octagon. All right, last thing I'm going to do before I'm going to do one bet for myself. Do you have any bets at all? I know it's still early for your betting. I got one that I wanted to share. I got a free $10 bet, guys. So I'm going to share this one with you. I'm going 5 30-point scorers.
Whoa.
Yeah. All right, my 5 30-point scores are LaMelo Ball versus Detroit tonight, Dame versus Washington, Tatum versus the Suns, Embiid versus the Spurs, Trae Young versus the Jazz. That is a $10 wager to pay out $290. So, and I will do my money lines here in probably a couple hours just to make sure everybody's playing. What do you got?
I would. What am I probably going to do? I'm surprised we even favor versus the Blazers, but I would have like a Portland, I'll take the Portland plus the points.
Okay.
Dame, I'm definitely putting Dame down for the over on threes. Our defense is very hit and miss.
Yeah.
I would moneyline Boston. They're just, I think, coming off that win against Brooklyn. They're just rolling right now. And the Suns, they've been struggling without Booker.
Okay.
So I would take Portland plus the points, add some Dame threes on that. A Boston money line.
Okay.
And I don't trust any of these teams here.
All right. All right, Kenzie. Well, obviously, those bets could change depending on who's out, who's in.
Yeah.
We know it's early. We're getting this out early today. Kenzie, I think we had a good episode, man. I think we had some fun today. Obviously, look out for more content coming from us. Kenzie, anything to add before we get out of here, man?
This week on Kenzie's Corner, if you see somebody trying to discredit all of Tom Brady's rings, just agree with me. He probably only earned one. So, yeah.
Okay, so that is something to look forward to, folks. Next week, Kid Kenzie is going to discredit 7 Super Bowl championships. This should be interesting. All right, Kenzie, let's get out of here, man. We'll see you guys soon. Have a great rest of your day.
All right.